The General Certificate of Secondary Education is an academic qualification awarded in a specified subject, generally taken in a number of subjects by students aged 14 to 16 in secondary education in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. It was introduced in 1986, replacing the former O-levels/CSE qualifications. As well as amalgamating the two former examination systems, one of the main changes was to allow students to complete coursework during their 2 years of study, which was marked by their teachers and contributed to their final examination grade. The qualification is equivalent to a Level 1 or Level 2 key skills qualification. Some students may decide to take one or more GCSEs before or after they sit the others, and people may apply for GCSEs at any point either internally through an institution or externally. The educational systems of other British territories, such as Gibraltar, Nigeria and South Africa, also offer the qualification, as supplied by the same examination boards. The international version of the GCSE is the IGCSE, which can be taken anywhere in the world, and which includes additional options relating to coursework and the language. The qualification is pursued in countries such as Zimbabwe still use the former qualifications O-level. Prior education to GCSE level is generally required of students wishing to pursue A-level courses or the International Baccalaureate. GCSE exams were introduced as the compulsory school leavers examinations in the late 1980s by the Conservative Party government, replacing the Certificate of Secondary Education and GCE ordinary level examinations. In September 2012, Michael Gove, as Secretary of State for Education, announced plans to scrap GCSE exams for core subjects in England and to introduce a replacement qualification in 2015 called the English Baccalaureate Certificate. In February 2013, Gove subsequently announced the certificate part would not go ahead, and that GCSEs would remain. In June 2013, Gove further announced that GCSEs would be replaced by intermediate levels. Structure: in secondary schools, GCSE courses are taken in a variety of subjects. Typically, study of chosen subjects begins at the start of Year 10. Some subjects start earlier, for example maths, English and science, because these courses are too long to be taught within 2 years. Final examinations are taken at the end of Year 11. In Northern Ireland, these age groups are designated as 1 year higher, so that Year 9 elsewhere is equivalent to Year 10 in Northern Ireland, and so forth. The number of subjects a student studies at GCSE level can vary. Usually somewhere between 8 and 10 subjects are studied, though it is not uncommon for more, or fewer, subjects to be studied. In secondary schools, GCSEs are compulsory in the core subjects and are more common qualification taken by 14 to 16-year-old students. The only requirement is that in state schools English, mathematics, science and physical education are studied during Key Stage 4. In England and Northern Ireland, students following the national curriculum must also study some form of information communication technology, and citizenship. In Wales, Welsh must also be studied. These subjects do not have to be taught for any examination, though it is normal for at least English, mathematics and science to be studied to GCSE level. For the reasons above, virtually all students take GCSEs in English, mathematics and science. In addition, many schools also require that students take English literature, at least one modern foreign language, at least one design and technology subject, religious education, and ICT. Students can then fill the remainder of their timetable with their own choice of subjects. Short course GCSEs or other qualifications, such as BTECs, can also be taken. Grading: at the end of the 2-year GCSE course, candidates receive a grade for each subject that they have sat. The pass grades, from highest to lowest, are A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Grade U signifies that a student achieved nothing worthy of credit, therefore no GCSE is awarded to the student in that subject. GCSEs are part of the National Qualifications Framework. A GCSE at grades DA-Euro-G is a Level 1 qualification, while a GCSE at grades AA-Euro-C is a Level 2 qualification. As one would expect, GCSEs at AC are much more desirable and insisted on by many employers and educational institutions. Level 1 qualifications are required to advance to Level 2 qualifications. Likewise, Level 2 qualifications are required to advance to Level 3 qualifications. Students can also receive an X grade, which signifies that they have only completed part of the course or key elements such as coursework are missing, and so an appropriate grade cannot be given. A Q grade means that the clarification is needed by the exam board, whom the school should contact. Both X and Q are normally temporary grades and replaced with a regular grade when the situation has been resolved. X grades are also very rarely used by some exam boards to indicate that the examiner found offending material, usually hate speech, within one of the exam papers that a student took. In some cases this may cause the student to lose all marks for the particular paper, and occasionally for the entire course. X grades are most common in subjects where ethical issues are raised and/or there is a question which requires the student to express their personal opinion on a scientific religious view. Notable areas where this can occur are biology and religious education studies. Tiers. In many subjects, there are two different tiers of examination offered: higher, where students can achieve grades AA-D, E, or a U; foundation, where they can achieve grades CA-G, or a U. If a candidate fails to obtain a grade G on the foundation tier or a grade D on the higher tier, they will fail the course and receive a U. Candidates who narrowly miss a grade D on the higher tier, however, are awarded a grade E. In modular subjects, students may mix and match tiers between units. In non-tiered subjects, such as history, the examination paper allows candidates to achieve any grade. Coursework and controlled assessment also always allows candidates to achieve any grade. In 2006, GCSE mathematics changed from a three-tier system, a Euro foundation grades, intermediate and higher a Euro, to the standard two-tier system described above. Further education, receiving 5 or more AA Euro C grades, including English and Maths, is often a requirement for taking A-levels in the school sixth form, at a sixth form college or at a further education college after leaving secondary school. Where the choice of A-level is a subject taken at GCSE level, it is frequently required that the student has received a GCSE C grade minimum. Most universities typically require a C or better in English and mathematics, regardless of a student's performance in their A-level or foundation degree course after leaving school. Many students who fail to get a C in English and mathematics will retake their GCSEs in those subjects at a later date, in order to take further education at a sixth form college. As well as choosing to take A-levels after GCSEs, students can also choose to do BTEC courses. Some students do them alongside A-levels and they count for 1 or 2 A-levels. However, some students may go to a college to study only what is known as a BTEC Level 3 extended diploma in one certain subject. This course is 2 years long and students can earn the necessary 3 A-levels required to gain a university place. The reason some students decide to take a BTEC is because it allows them to focus solely on an area they are certain to go into in the future, and also because it allows those who do not do well in tests to earn qualifications that are coursework only based, and therefore reflect a fairer overview of the student's ability. Leading universities often take into account performance at GCSE level, sometimes expecting applicants to have a high proportion of A and A grades. Controlled assessment. In some subjects, 1 or more controlled assessment assignments may also be completed. Controlled assessment can contribute to anything from 10 to €60% of a pupil's final grade, with more practical subjects, such as design and technology, art, ICT, music and English often having a heavier coursework element. The rest of a pupil's grade is determined by their performance in examinations. These exams may either be terminal exams at the end of Year 11, a series of modular examinations, or taken throughout the course, or a combination of the two. Pupils can sometimes resit modular examinations later in the course and attempt to improve their grade. In terms of stress, The upside of controlled assessment is that it can help to ease the stress of examination because students who undertake their coursework with skill and diligence have already achieved around 20% of the marks accounting for their final grade. However, the downside is that this means students have a greater workload to complete, sometimes having to produce a large amount of work for a minimal part of the overall grade. For example, in English a student may have to complete 4 pieces of coursework, each over 1,000 words long, which individually only account for 5% of the grade. However, this varies between exam boards. Controlled assessment was usually completed outside of lessons, however concerns about cheating have meant that more and more is now being completed in the classroom, under supervision. For many courses starting in September 2009, including those in economics, science and history, a requirement will be that controlled assessment is completed in a controlled environment within schools. Design and technology subjects also switch to the new, more controlled, environment, with time limits and restrictions on the variety of projects allowed. However, despite hopes that controlled assessment would eliminate the possibility of cheating, it still goes on. There are many cases of teachers allowing students to complete the work at home after the teacher has corrected and marked it, which does not comply with the controlled element of this assessment. An all investigation shows that most teachers are deeply dissatisfied with controlled assessment. Examination boards. There are now 5 examination boards offering GCSEs, Assessment and Qualifications Alliance, Oxford, Cambridge and RSA examinations, Edexcel, Welsh Joint Education Committee, Council for the Curriculum, Examinations and Assessment, while all boards are regulated by the Office of the Regulators of Qualifications a non-departmental public body sponsored by the Department for Education a the boards are self-sufficient organisations. Traditionally there were a larger number of regional exam boards, but changes in legislation allowed schools to use any board before a series of mergers reduced the number to 5. The Joint Council for Qualifications acts as a single voice for the awarding bodies and assists them to create common standards, regulations and guidance. Results: students receive the results of their GCSEs in the 4th week of August. CCEA published their results on the Tuesday and the other examination boards published theirs on the Thursday. Normally, students have to go to their school to collect their results, although Edexcel allow for the option of an online results service. English Baccalaureate. In late 2010, the government introduced a new performance indicator called the English Baccalaureate, which measures the percentage of students in a school who achieve grades AC in English, mathematics, 2 sciences, a foreign language and history or geography. In September 2012, new qualifications known as the English Baccalaureate Certificate were formally announced to replace GCSEs, citing dumbing down as one of the reasons. Chris Keats of Union Nasut criticized the announcement as being entirely driven by political ideology. In February 2013, Education Secretary Michael Gove had planned to bring in the English Baccalaureate Certificate from autumn 2015, but faced criticism from MPs and teaching unions, which soon led to the abandonment of the English Baccalaureate. Criticism: there have been comments that the GCSE system is a dumbing down from the old GCE O-level system. In addition, GCSE grades have been rising for many years, which critics attribute to grade inflation. By comparing students' scores in the eligibility test with their GCSE results between 1996 and 2006, Robert Coe found a general increase in results which ranges from 0.2 to 0.8 of a GCSE grade. Only slightly more than half of students sitting GCSE exams achieve the 5A to C grades required for most forms of academic further education. One of the important differences between O-levels and the later GCSE qualifications was supposed to be a move from norm-referenced marking to criterion-referenced marking. On a norm-referenced grading system, fixed percentages of candidates achieve each grade. With criterion-referenced grades, in theory, all candidates who achieve the criteria can achieve the grade. A comparison of a clearly norm-referenced assessment, such as the NFEA Cognitive Ability Test or CAT, with GCSE grading seems to show an unexpected correlation, which challenges the idea that the GCSE is a properly criterion-based assessment. there have been calls from several MPs for GCSEs to be scrapped in favour of a national diploma. The Department for Education does not look likely to do this at any time in the near future. Sir Mike Tomlinson, former head of Ofsted, also stated that GCSEs ought to be scrapped and replaced with diplomas in August 2009. In recent years, concerns about standards has led some public schools to go as far as to remove GCSEs from their curriculum, and to take their pupils straight to A-level or the International Baccalaureate. Other public schools, such as the Manchester Grammar School, are replacing the GCSEs with IGCSEs in which there is an option to do no coursework. The new science syllabus has led to many public schools switching to the IGCSE double award syllabus. In 2012, there were a number of complaints that English GCSEs were marked unfairly, following a decision to change the grade boundaries. 2012 was also the first year in the 24-year history of the exams in which the proportion of all GCSEs awarded an AC grade fell. History and format. GCSEs were introduced for teaching in September 1986, with the first examinations taking place in 1988, replacing both the GCE O-level and the CSE qualifications, which had suffered problems due to the two-tier nature of the system. Grade C of the GCSE was set at equivalent to O-level Grade C and CSE Grade 1. Thus the final students to sit the former O-level CSE examinations were those of May-June 1987 and the subsequent retakes in September 1987. Students were taught the new GCSE subjects from September 1986, for the first GCSE examinations in 1988. The table below compares the grading under the O-level/CSE system and GCSE system. At the time of its introduction in 1988, blue background a certificate and qualification awarded. Red background a no certificate or qualification awarded. The format of the GCSE has remained basically the same since its inception, though many minor changes have been made. The A grade was introduced to distinguish the very top end of achievement in 1994, although the threshold for achieving an A has varied considerably over time, coming down as low as 47% in a 2005 AQA Business Studies GCSE. Initially, most exams had two tiers, Higher, offering grades AE, and Basic, offering grades FG. In 1998, the higher tier was modified to cover grades AD, while the basic tier was renamed Foundation and now covered grades CG. In 2004, an allowed grade E was introduced to the higher tier for candidates narrowly missing a grade D. For many years, maths was an exception, having three tiers, Higher, Intermediate and Basic Foundation. Maths moved to the standard two-tier system in 2006. Introduced in 2000 was the vocational GCSE, which encouraged students to take the work-related route and included courses such as engineering and manufacture, applied business, ICT, and leisure and tourism. From September 2004, the word vocational was dropped and a vocational GCSE is now known simply as a GCSE. Science GCSEs were overhauled in 2006. The most popular course, Double Award Science GCSE, where students receive two identical grades for a course with twice the content as the Single Award Science GCSE, was terminated. Students studying for two Science GCSEs now study the Single Science GCSE and then one of two complementary GCSEs, Additional Science GCSE or Applied Science GCSE. Candidates now receive separate grades for each of their Science GCSEs. GCSE examinations in state education are taken officially in the summer, though many schools take mocks beforehand. GCSE examination results are received on a specified date in the summer, and due to this, the examinations are always taken near the end of the academic year. GCSEs are externally marked examinations, taken between April and July, unless a pupil has specific reasons to be entitled to extension of time. There were further changes to the English GCSEs from 2010. Instead of the current system where all students take English and the vast majority also take English literature, students will take English language and English literature together or just English on its own, which will effectively be a hybrid of the other two GCSEs. The youngest student to gain a GCSE is home-educated Aaron Fernandez, who took GCSE Mathematics in 2001 at the age of 5, gaining grade D, the highest available at foundation tier at the time. In 2003 he became the youngest ever student to gain an A grade, also for mathematics. Special educational needs, for students with learning difficulties, an injury, repetitive strain injury or a disability, help is offered in these forms. Extra time, amanuensis, a word processor can be used by students who have trouble writing legibly or who are unable to write quickly enough to complete the exam, a different format exam paper, a reader, a different room. All of the above must be approved by the exam board concerned. There are other forms of help available, but these are the most commonly used. Students working below GCSE level may take a different qualification altogether in one or more subjects. The entry-level certificate, in particular, is designed for this purpose. There are also other qualifications which can be taken such as BTECs, which are specially designed for students with learning difficulties and other special needs. Subjects, many of the subjects in this list are not offered by every school. Core compulsory subjects, English, 2 GCSEs, English language and English literature, 1 GCSE, English. Mathematics, Welsh or Welsh second language, many Welsh schools offer Welsh literature along with the language course. Irish in Irish medium schools in Northern Ireland, Science, 1 GCSE, Science often referred to as Core Science. 2 GCSEs, Science and Additional Science, 2 GCSEs, Science and Additional Applied Science, 2 GCSEs, Double Award Applied Science, up to 3 GCSEs, Biology, Chemistry and Physics as separate GCSEs. Several other science-based GCSEs are available to pupils in many schools. These include GCSE Astronomy and Geology. Religious education and ICT are often compulsory, depending on the school. Languages, modern languages, Afrikaans, Arabic, Bengali, Cantonese, Mandarin, Dutch, French, Applied French, also known as Business French, a vocational course that aims towards an NVQ. German, Applied German, also known as Business German, a vocational course that aims towards an NVQ. Modern Greek, Gujarati, Modern Hebrew, Hindi, Gaelic as L1, Irish as L2, Italian, Japanese, Maltese, Malay, Manx, Punjabi, Persian, Polish, Portuguese, Russian, Somali, Spanish, Tamil, Telugu, Turkish, Urdu, Welsh, Yoruba, Classical languages, Classical Arabic, Classical Greek, Biblical Hebrew, Latin, Classical Sanskrit, Technology, Design and Technology, Parametric CAD, Electronic Products, Electronics with Resistant Materials, Food Technology, Graphic Design Products, Product Design, Resistant Materials, Textiles, Systems and Control. Catering, Electronics, Engineering, Engineering and Manufacturing, Home Economics, Food and Nutrition, Child Development, Textiles. Manufacturing, ICT, Computing, Digital Technology, Moving Image Arts, Humanities, Citizenship, Classical Civilization, Economics, Geography, History, Modern World, Economic and Social, Schools History Project. Humanities, Religious Studies, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, Philosophy and Ethics, Sikhism. People and Society-related subjects, Business Studies, Applied Business, Business and Economics, Business and Communication Systems, Financial Services, Health and Social Care, Hospitality, Law, Leisure and Tourism, Psychology, Sociology, Travel and Tourism, Expressive Arts, Animation, Applied Art and Design, Art and Design, Art and Design, Fine Art, Art and Design, Graphics, Art and Design, Photography, Art and Design, Textiles, Art and Design, Three-Dimensional Design Studies, Dance, Drama, Digital Photography, Expressive Arts, Film Studies, Media Studies, Moving Image Arts, Music, Performing Arts, Original Writing, Others, Accounting, Additional Mathematics, Astronomy, construction/construction and the built environment, environmental science, geology, general studies, human physiology and health, IFS personal finance, journalism, learning for life and work, motor vehicle and road user studies, personal and social education, physical education, games, preparation for working life, rural and agricultural science, statistics, see also, GCE advanced level. Commonly referred to as A-levels, these are the next set of exams that some students take. References. Notes, The Guardian, August 25, 2005, It Really Is That Bad? GCSE Standards, The Guardian, September 3, 2005, Top Independent School to Ditch GCSE Science.